Hi, I'm Nick Appleyard, I'm CEO of TriStar Gold. We have the Castelo de Sonhos gold property in central Brazil, in southern part of Pará state, which we are advancing through permitting, and quite excited that it's getting close to the end of that route and looking forward to what comes next.
Brilliant. Well, Nick, thanks for coming back on for the end of the year. We haven't seen this since April, but it's been a year of just waiting to get this permitting meeting happening. You recently had a sort of town hall session, didn't you? How did that go?
Yeah, no, it went really well. It's felt like that, a year, but internally it's been really busy for us. We had the site visit first from them, and then the town hall meeting, and it's gone fantastic. The town hall meeting was much better attended than we anticipated it was going to be, and which is all good because you want as many people there as possible.
Right, and what is it that you're waiting for? There's a preliminary license, or
it's the preliminary license. It's in
Brazil.
What they always talk about is like there's threefold approach to permitting: the preliminary license, then your installation license, which is construction, and then once you built it, the operating license to actually run. I think they make it sound a bit scarier than it is because it's pretty well like that everywhere. The preliminary license is the approval of your EIA. This is the one where you go through the whole community outreach. There's public meetings with the town hall, full review of the EIA, full review of the social community aspects of the projects, chance to make their comments. And this is the one that takes the longest and is the hardest to get. After this, it's sort of engineering licenses and a simpler process to get.
Okay. So I guess what I want from this call is just kind of catch up where you're at. At the beginning of the year, you had about $4 million. I know you raised another 3.2, closed in beginning of September. So cash-wise, you're good to kind of get through this licensing process. What else are you good for in terms of advancing the project?
Yeah, right now we've got 5.5 million Canadian, around just over 4 million US. So we're good. I mean, the reason for doing that small raise earlier in the year is to make sure we can get through this process and then get through the decision-making stage that will come after that. And that's obviously the critical point that we're after. But yeah, we wanted to make sure whatever decision-making, if that included interaction with another company of some sort, which can take some time and some negotiating, we wanted to make sure we had some money in the bank to get through that process.
Right. But in terms of, again, just catching up from sort of where we were when we last spoke, there was, potential for doing a little bit more in drilling, or requirement to do a little bit more in infill drilling and a little bit more discussion around engineering, etc., to get you to, I'm not quite sure what point. Is that still in the plans? Because I appreciate a lot of companies have sort of changed and adjusted their plans over the last year, where it's been sort of tough market for gold companies. Are we still on track for the original plan?
Yeah, we're still doing little optimizations on the process and the project itself. We have some met tests and met samples at a lab now, all aimed at optimizing the plant, getting seeing if there are better options economically and environmentally on there. We are still working with Goldspot ALS now and the AI on our exploration, so we're still working on some plans there. Look, there's an exploration component of that, but it's also step out and incremental growth to grow the resources and reserves. So we're still working on that. We haven't been drilling for a while, but there are plans and a lot of ideas on what we can do over the next couple of years, sort of in parallel with final fees and construction.
Yeah. Okay, and tell me where you're at, because again, this is but just remind me of some of the numbers from the 2021 PFS. Because it's a very sort of different environment, and cost inflation and so forth has been a tough one, and that versus a rising gold environment. I think most producers are saying, well, net our margins are roughly the same. How are you viewing that new cost environment, given us a average grade of 1.1 grams that you're looking to mine?
Yeah, no. So in our PFS, our capex or market, it was $260 million to build. We had 28% post-tax rate of return, and those numbers we see improving a little bit. I mean, I think our capital for going from 260, I sort of guide people that if you looked at that, the escalation, we haven't done an engineered number, so I want to make that really clear, but just a sort of a guideline guess from what we're watching and what people like Hochschilds or G Mining have published because they're in construction, would be between 320, 350 right now. Operating costs will also have gone up a little bit, but we have noticed that energy costs have come down. So there is a benefit there as well. But, my guess is it's sort of equivalent to about $150 an ounce on the gold price. So, we use $1,550. If we used $1,700, I think we'd be at net. But if we were using a little higher than that, we'd be ahead of the game. So we're seeing it quite positive right now.
Okay. It's interesting. And so therefore, we won't expect to see an updated PFS. You're going to work with your partners as is on getting this thing into production without any further kind of economic study.
We don't see the need. I mean, obviously if the market starts demanding it, but we don't see the need for an updated PFS. It would just be a, fine tuning of the same numbers we've already published. And I don't think it would really give anyone any real information. The real story now is moving forward.
Okay, fantastic. And so give us just in terms of in order, 2024, what can we expect to see from you? It's been a quiet year this year while you wait on this permitting, but next year, what's happening?
Okay, so we still anticipate getting that LP in Q1. Process has been going really, really well. Like I said, the town hall meeting went fantastic. Very few questions well attended. So, and I think better than that is our interaction and the responses and the relationship we have with the authorities now. It's sort of day-to-day communications and very open. So we anticipate getting that in Q1. And really then I think what we'll see is obviously we'll announce that as it happens. And then I think shortly after that, we'll see an announcement from us on our path forward, how we're moving forward, whether that's we're going to go alone or we're going to bring a partner in to do the PFS, to the FS, and either way can work. I think we've got a preference to bring a partner in right now because, we don't have a construction team and operations team. We have the startings of our operations with Marcus there as our COO, but there's a lot of value in having someone who's built stuff before as some form of partner, whether it's a 20% equity holder and a little operating committee between us where we can lean on their experience, and that would be the probably the optimal route forward at this point.
Right, and we've seen sort of groups like G Mining Ventures, getting on and building in country. So your expectation is the ability to do business in Brazil is good. Do you see, again, coming back to the sort of, how you manage and navigate the marketplace, do you see the need for any sort of merging, any M&A activity coming together to, help kind of manage the kind of costs and budgets, which, we're seeing out there at the moment?
I can see a benefit in doing that sort of stuff. Working with someone who knows how to do construction. I've been through it 3 or 4 times in my career, and I think I understand the risk levels involved in doing construction more than a lot of people do. It's not like you can go, okay, it's going to be 260 million, we'll raise 270 and hand that money over and get a plant and it's all, turn it on the next day. It just doesn't work like that. If you raise 270, you think you're spending 260 and it goes up to 300, all of a sudden you're 30 million underwater and everyone knows you're stuck. So you really want to have a partner who knows how to do it and has done it before, and then especially with experience in country would be fantastic. So I think there's a lot of value in us having some form of either a partner, a 20% equity stake, or there's a lot of different ways you can do it. But, I think there's value in that.
Right. Okay. And with regards to the appetite by the money to fund projects like this, we're seeing some companies kind of blow up the capital structure. We're seeing different parts of the world making it very difficult for miners to actually kind of get on with the business of mining. I think we recognize Brazil's a good place for miners. What are the kind of the barriers that you're seeing now, the obstacles to you being able to raise capital and things that you're mindful of as you go through this process?
I mean, the main obstacle we see obviously is the markets in Canada, the share price. It makes it, like as you suggested, if we try and go it alone, you just blow up your capital structure. You'd end up giving away 40% of the company, 50% of the company to get to the next phase. So that's the biggest obstacle. Apart from that, like you said, Brazil is being very positive. So we're actually seeing, one of the sort of areas that I hadn't really looked at before was mid-tier companies looking to diversify out of other areas of South America, which have historically been very good and are not so good now. And they're like, oh, they want some political diversification. And Brazil's pretty well the only place they're standing. So, Brazil is a good place to build it. And as you mentioned, G Mining Services are doing a great job up at TZ there, from what I understand, on schedule, on budget. Hochschild's with Rosa Mara Rosa, the same thing. They're going to be built by mid-year, I believe. Doing a great job there. So, you get two very comparable projects. I think Mara Rosa is 8,000 tonne a day and TZ's 12,000 tonne a day, and we're going to have a 10,000 tonne a day one. So, those projects can get built. They're sort of pretty straightforward stuff for the Brazil market, the Brazil engineers and construction teams.
Okay, interesting. Okay, well, I appreciate you coming on. Like I say, it's been so quiet this year, but hopefully next year so livens up somewhat as you kind of move through the phase and make some choices. You've got the cash. You're not cash constrained in terms of those choices and those options available to you. So let's stay in touch and let us know how you get on. Okay.
Yep. No, absolutely. Thanks for having me on.